What shady shit is Stitt up to today? He's wasted almost $600,000 in legal fees paid to out-of-state law firms fighting the tribes in Oklahoma. Many tribes in Oklahoma have casino gaming compacts with the state that create economic opportunities for tribal nations. In exchange, the tribes pay the state 12% of the revenue from the casinos, and that revenue goes towards Oklahoma's education system. When Stitt first took office, he wanted to renegotiate the tribal gaming compacts so that the tribes would have to pay a higher percentage. But the tribal leaders were under the impression that the gaming compacts automatically renewed in January of 2020 for 15 more years, and that there wasn't a need for negotiation. After months of legal disputes between Stitt and the tribes, the U.S. District Court agreed with the tribes. In April of 2020, while the legal battle was ongoing, Stitt went ahead and signed new gaming compacts with 4 of the tribes. These new compacts expanded types of gaming, including sports betting, and they expanded the land where the tribes could build new casinos. Even though they would have to pay the state a higher percentage of their revenue, these 4 smaller tribes saw this as an opportunity to grow their wealth. Problem was, well, there were several problems, but the primary problem was that Stitt signed these compacts without legislative approval. Another problem was that they expanded the land too close to other tribes' casino interests. The Oklahoma Supreme Court ultimately ruled that the compacts were invalid. However, Stitt had already submitted the compacts to the U.S. Department of Interior for federal approval. When the agency took no action, the compacts were approved by default. 4 larger tribes whose land was encroached upon filed a lawsuit in federal court against Stitt and the U.S. Department of Interior and the 4 smaller tribal nations who signed the compacts with Stitt 3 years ago. Stitt has fought the 4 larger tribes tooth and nail to keep his gaming compacts intact. $600,000 in legal fees have been questionably spent from the Oklahoma Gaming Compliance Fund. But there is hope. In an unprecedented move, the Oklahoma Attorney General is joining in the lawsuit against Stitt. The compacts that Stitt signed with the 4 tribal nations were illegal, and Drummond's hope is to end this once and for all.